Welcome back to the Five Squared Podcast with your host, Tim Fives. I'm doing the pre-intro. Today, we're changing up the formats a little bit, and today we have a great interview with Tricia Zeltwanger from Penn-Mar. Can't wait for you to share that with you. But I also wanted to put a shout out for anybody else that would like to share their cause, passion, expertise, talk about their business, whatever it might be, to give us a call at 1-855-570-0055. This will be in the show notes. You can also go to fivesquared.com and reach us there, or send me a note directly at tim@fivesquared.com. But we have a fantastic suite of interviews coming up between now and the end of the year and beyond. We have Dave Romeo coming on to talk about. He's one of my fellow coaches, colleagues, great guy. We're going to talk about planning and networking and a variety of different things. So that's going to be an exciting talk. We have Carolyn Sachs coming on, the Marketing Muse, talking about marketing and how to supercharge your business. And then one of the other ones that's coming to mind right now is Kelly Boyson's going to be talking about the Junior League of York, and those will be scattered throughout the year. The remaining year, and a couple other ones that, quite frankly, aren't coming to mind yet. But if you'd like to come on, we'll be updating the list on our Facebook page. So go there, the Five Squared Podcast on Facebook. You can get all the details there, also in the show notes. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. If you have a topic that you'd like to for us to focus on, give us a shout out. Let us know, and have a wonderful day.
You are listening to the Five Squared Podcast, the podcast where we bring you tips for your business and your life. Our goal is to leave you smarter with ideas, wisdom, tools, and entertained. The Five Squared Podcast is produced weekly for your enrichment. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow me on Twitter at 5Squared and Facebook. All the links are in the show notes. Now let's get started with your host, business consultant, executive coach, and founder of 5Squared, Tim Fives.
All right, well, welcome back to the Five Squared Podcast. We have Trish. How do we say your last name again?
Zeltwanger,
and you're from Penn-Mar. Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, why you're here, what kind of the messages you want to get across today to everybody.
Well, I've been with Penn-Mar for about 27 years. I've played a couple different roles there. And one of my best roles that I feel that I play right now and have fun with is being a career counselor for our individuals that we support.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about Penn-Mar. What's its mission?
We're actually an organization that supports individuals with an intellectual disability.
Okay.
Whether that be through housing, residential supports, through our day program supports, through our employment supports.
So you get them homes outside of where they're typically living. So is it all about getting them to be more independent and integrated into society?
Yes.
See, I do pay attention.
Yeah.
Look at that. So, and you've been there for 27 years. What are some of the roles you've played there?
Well, in the past, Penn-Mar was actually a sheltered workshop where we would support our individuals with supplying them subcontract work.
Okay.
Where we would bring work into our facility and job train them that way. So we have decided to go on a different mission, which I'm very grateful for, and that's helping our individuals find their niche in our community through employment.
Okay. So, and what kind of... So why don't you just tell me about that process? Like, how does that work? How do people find out about Penn-Mar that need your services? And then kind of just walk through what that process is.
Well, it depends. Sometimes it's just a mom and dad who have an individual or a family member who needs our supports.
Okay.
They can go on our website and find out that way, or through the offices of vocational rehabilitation services. We're actually an OVR provider now.
What's OVR?
Offices of vocational rehabilitation.
Okay, good. Yeah. I hear acronyms all the time. And I'm like, what? It doesn't fit what I think it is. So,
so that's an avenue where some of the family members can go, and then they can ask for our services through that avenue.
Now, is that a government agency or what type of agency is that?
I do believe.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So what's your primary role now? Like, what do you do?
So I am a career counselor,
Okay.
Or what we also call a job developer. So I support the individuals finding all of their great skills, what they want to do in this world, where they want to be, and what does that look like.
Do you have any examples of that? Like what people are coming to you when you're working with them, and what do they want to do? Like, what do they want to be?
Sure. Well, I have an individual right now who would love to work in a flower shop.
Really?
Yeah. So we're supporting her in that role. And we
nice.
assessed her skills with trimming of flowers. It's actually pretty neat. There's a lot of different things you have to do in a flower shop in order for those flowers to stay nice and fresh.
Right.
And a special way to actually trim them. So we assessed her skills and found out that she does very well at it, and
That's
she actually
awesome.
has a passion for it.
And so how do you match them with the flower shops or with they want to do?
Well, first of all, we figure out what an individual wants to do, and then I take that and then I try to job match that with an employer in our community. So I'll go out and I'll what we do is cold call. I'll stop in and see how things are going with a certain business.
Now you do a lot of networking too. Has that been beneficial for you?
Yeah, it is for sure.
Because I'm thinking of one flower shop in particular. I won't name names. In one of our collective groups.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Networking is key for me.
And how do you get the message integrated into so there's the networking, but how do you get that message out kind of at a broader level? Like, do you work with the chamber at all, or
Yes.
the various other organizations within the county? It's like,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Actually, I'm an ambassador for the York County.
Are an ambassador, yeah.
For the Economic Alliance, which is great, which actually has been wonderful for me. I've been meeting a lot of wonderful people and making good friendships and good connections. And I'm also on the board for Southern York County Business Association.
Yes, you
so
are.
again,
Yeah.
that gets me out there moving.
Oh, cool. So, how many people do you work with at a time? Like, how many people are in Penn-Mar right now looking for opportunities?
It varies. Right now, on what we call my caseload, is I have about 15 individuals that I'm trying to support.
Wow.
But I also have a colleague also who has another caseload as well. And we're also, though we're Penn-Mar, we have two sides of the states, Maryland and the Pennsylvania side, and we actually have career counselors on the Maryland side as well.
Okay. And what about transportation and things for these individuals? Because I would assume, like, if you're trying to integrate them into their own homes and things like that and getting them more integrated into society, how do you deal with that? Do you have special programs around the transportation aspect?
Sure. We actually provide transportation.
Oh, really?
We have a transportation department. If they live at home, we also ask for mom and dad support.
Sure.
Or family members, who that might be. And if they live in our residential side, the individuals that live in those residential programs, the staff would then help provide with that transportation.
Okay.
So,
All right, cool. So how do you come back and ascertain? Like, do you have a program to run these individuals through to figure out what they're good at, or do you kind of leave it to them to say, like, this is what I want to do, or how do you develop them, their skills?
Well, we do have a program. It's called Customized Employment.
Okay.
And part of what we do is an exploration and discovery process, and we follow that program where we would explore individuals, what they want to do, and we'll discover what they're good at. And then we take all of that and figure out how that would apply to an employment aspect in the community.
How long does that take?
About 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, really?
Weeks. Yeah.
So that's pretty involved.
Sure. We want a good match. We want a good job match that matches their skills with a need inside of a business.
Okay. 4 to 6 weeks. Let's see here. We got a couple other questions that we'll go through. Oh, yeah. Well, let's lead right in. So what is that process? So you've matched them, you've assessed their skills, you've looked at, hey, this is what they're good at. Like, we'll take the example of the flower shop, and then they get in employment. What's the support after they're employed, or what's that process look like?
Well, we actually help the individual get started in their employment. We'll go with them on as long as it takes. The first day, we'll go in and we'll help them just, get them acclimated to the surroundings of where they are, learning how to punch in, knowing for sure where the restrooms are, knowing what time to go to lunch or break, and we'll support that individual. And then what we do is then assess how they're doing. If they need some job coaching supports, then we'll put those and implement them and put them into place. But then once they're good at it and they're comfortable and the employer's comfortable, we'll start backing our services out. But we never lose sight of them. We're always in there at least once a month, checking in, seeing how things are going, seeing if there's a possibility for a growth. with more.
So you're meeting not
experiences.
just with the individual, but also with the employer and
Absolutely.
saying, "Hey, how's it going?
Sure.
What can we do?" Okay.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And is that part of your role as a career counselor to do that aspect of the job, or is that somebody else in the organization that does
I
that?
participate on both sides of it for
Okay.
sure. But yes, we have job coaches that are put into place that will follow through with them the whole through with job coaching and things like that.
Oh, nice.
And then they will follow through for follow up supports.
And how big is the staff there?
On the Pennsylvania side, we have there is 4 job coaches,
Okay.
and then there's 2 job developers.
All right. Nice. So we talked about that. So we talked a little bit about connecting with the employers, and you do that primarily through networking. What other services or avenues do you have for employers that are looking to support you or to bring these people on board?
Other say again.
Well, I'm just thinking, so you do a lot of networking to identify employers, but is there any other things? So if an employer is listening to this and they want more information, I guess, is it penmar.org or com or
Yeah, .org.
.org? Okay.
Right.
And so what are some of the biggest challenges you face, like in your daily job or trying to place these individuals?
Sure. Getting the community to open up a little bit more. Seeing that the great skills that these individuals have, and wanting to help and support this program, and also support any inside of their business, because our process is to make sure the individual has these great skills and they can actually be a great asset to their employment there.
Nice. Do you have any success stories you want to share? That'd be good for the listeners to see, like what types of skills and things where these people have been fit and have just really, really excelled.
Sure. A couple years ago, I stopped in at a vending machine company, and they needed somebody to actually process all of the deliveries. And I had an individual who liked the warehousing, wanted to put things away and things like that. And we assessed his skills, and for sure he was able to do that, put things where they need to belong, and then if they had to pull orders to fill up their trucks to go out and supply the vending machines, that's what they did as well. And he did fantastic with that. And he's actually grown in that position. He is now actually going on the truck
Oh, really?
with them and going and filling these vending machines. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
So he grew.
Yeah.
We're all about growth. We're all about going forward.
And do you see in the individuals that are doing this, like they're changing demeanor? Are they happier? Do they feel, once they feel like they're engaged in something worthwhile, how does that affect the person itself?
With me being at Penn-Mar for 27 years, and where we had individuals coming to our day program, where they are surrounded by paid staff. They live with paid staff. They go on vacation with paid staff. And what we're finding out is these guys are absolutely transforming life into living through employment. Now they're making friends in the community. They're excited about going to work. They're making a great paycheck. And they're able to buy different things. We actually had an individual who saved money, and he bought I want to call it a parasail. I believe that's what it was called. So he loves the water.
Wow.
And he bought one of those boats that,
Yeah.
the big sails and all that. And so that was a goal for him, and that is exactly what he did. And now he just keeps moving forward with that. So
And
it's
so
great.
for these people that have been at a company for a while, like the gentleman, how are you still engaged with him, or
Absolutely.
you are? Okay. So this is a long term. It's not just
Forever.
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 Wow.
Mhm.
That's why you've been there for 27 years.
Yeah.
You can't leave.
I can't.
So what do you find most fulfilling about the job in working with?
It's just employing these guys.
Yeah.
It is very, very satisfying for me to be able to help them do something in this community and be part of our community. It just makes me happy. For sure.
No, yeah, you can see it on your face if we were on TV.
Yeah, I got a big smile.
Yeah. So what do you think the biggest challenge, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, like the openness of the community to accept these people in from an employment. Is that kind of the biggest challenge you face, do you think? Or how would you?
Actually, sometimes, yes. I've seen a big change from my transition from when I was contract manager with Penn-Mar to job developer and career counselor.
Yeah.
When I first started doing this, there was a lot of no thank you, no thank yous, and now it's I'm interested. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Oh, that's
So
good.
doors are opening a little bit better, but I am always hoping for more open
More.
doors.
And so what do you tell those people when you go in and they're like, yeah, tell me a little bit more, or they might be a little bit hesitant, but at least you got that crack. Like, what's your pitch?
Part of what I try to do is find out what supports they need. Where, do they have any backlogs in their business? Is there something that if they had somebody that could support a role, what would that look like? And then I talk to them about how we process the process of customized employment, or excuse me, expiration to discovery, and what that looks like, and how we job match skills with a need inside of a business. And then it kind of unfolds after that.
All right. So, and these are more, I guess, do you have clerical roles? Like, give me a sense of the type of roles. I mean, we talked about kind of the doer role of the gentleman at the vending machine place, but what are the types of activities that you've placed these people into?
I've actually placed two gentlemen, actually three at the moment, in different roles inside of a business, but doing a task where they were making samples for a company, and that's what they have to do is affix certain things to a sample board, and it takes some doing.
Yeah.
You have to
Now,
be
what
pretty
kind of
precise
samples?
with it.
What were the samples for?
They're actually for shingles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So different colors, different textures, all the stuff that goes into shingles.
Right.
Interesting. So what else would you like our viewers or listeners, I guess they're not viewers yet. That's next year on the Tim Fives TV show, for the viewer or the listeners to know about Penn-Mar.
Well, what I like for everybody to know is we do have a great program with this. So if there are companies out there that are looking to participate in a program or have a need inside of their business that they would like to find customization in that role, please contact us at Penn-Mar Human Services. I mean, I would love for people to.
And we'll have all those in the show notes, so
Great.
for all the listeners to go in and look at that and be able to reach out. And can they reach out to you directly?
Sure.
All right, we'll make sure your contact information is in the show notes
absolutely.
as well. No, this is fantastic. And so if I'm going out and because I work with a lot of small businesses, medium business, size businesses, and things, what are those things that I should be looking for to be able to be an advocate for you?
Any business that express that they have needs that need to be met, or openings, or anything like that, they would be interested in maybe customizing roles that would best support their business.
Okay, this might sound like an odd question, but it just popped into my head. Do businesses get any sort of government discounts or subsidies for employing these people, or
There is.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a tax incentive.
Oh, there's a tax incentive, so that's good. See everybody out there with the tax incentives. Yeah, hopefully they'll remain after the. I won't get political. All right. No, that's good to know. Well, great. Well, I just want to thank you for coming in today and doing this, and
This is wonderful.
we'll get this out to the listener community today.
Great.
And
Fantastic.
it might be good for have you come back in and do more of a case study next time too, because I think I'd like to get a little bit more involved in actually maybe following somebody through the process. I think that might be good for the listeners to
That would be
do.
great.
I don't know, just throwing out some ideas. So
Sure, I'd
we'll
love
get
to.
that scheduled for everybody so we can do that, and maybe even if somebody's comfortable coming in, bringing one of the individuals in that has gone through the program or
I'm sure I
something
have
like
plenty.
that'd be fantastic. So
Good.
well, thank you very much, Trish,
you.
and everybody find the show notes so they can reach out to Penn-Mar, and it's .org, correct?
Correct.
Penn-Mar.org. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to the show with your host, Tim Fives. We hope you will pass along our web address, fivesquared.com, to your friends and colleagues. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at 5Squared or follow us on Facebook. This has been a 5 Squared production. Join us next time for another edition of the 5 Squared Podcast.